Good morning, everyone. September 26th. Just want to dive into yesterday's price action and potential scenarios for today. Going to show a little clip of yesterday's video about the potential scenario. Maybe we get some profit taking again at the gate, pull back into that 568, 567 level again, rally back up. Okay, so we could look for something like this as a potential scenario to play out as we pull back to this 568, 567. This now, we're seeing higher highs, higher lows, right? Marked by here, here. So potentially this could continue the trend attack, hold the 5-day moving average, right? Rally, break this 570 VP up in here and push above. So perhaps in this 569 area, rally up, push it to 570, 85, look for some consolidation, right? I'd be like to anticipate, participate, take some profits, and let this trend continue if it's going to. And if it starts to break down beneath this 568 level, 567 level, up in this band of support, then we could potentially see a further downside. So we're up in the pre-market. If we do get the profit taking, rally up like this, maybe we get rejection and then get a little bit from failed move, fast moves, and then right, it kind of test that 5-day moving average, and then that's when you start to see the change in character. So let's dive into today's price action and see what happened. That's a potential scenario. Innocent until proven guilty. Pull back into this. And let's get this chart up. So we could see here that in that clip it says pull back to this 567, 568 level to that 5-day moving average, right? So in that video, we had all the higher lows we talked about, and we talked about some profit taking out of the gate and a pullback to that 568, 567 level. Then we looked for an anticipation and participation into 570. So we could take an anchor VWAP at this low, right? Once we start to rally above it, reclaim it. Here's your 569 to 570. And now we have a further push up, a gap up. So, and if you're really trading it in pre-market, right, once it rallies and consolidates above the 2-day VWAP, multi-day VWAP alignment above a rising 5-day moving average, we. So let's talk about what we could look for today. So potential area coming into is 572, right? So we'll monitor to see if we can pull back to this 572 level, maybe pull in a little bit deeper to this 571. Keep in mind the 2-day VWAP will be a nice line in the sand. The 2-day VWAP will start to look like that. And we'll have our 3-day VWAP. So that's going to be a potential area where I'm going to be monitoring for some support in this 570, 571 region. If this decides to pull back, start to rally back and end up where we started for the day. Monitor if we break back, start to trade into that daily VWAP. So we pull back from the price, retrace into the 2-day, 3-day VWAP, reject the daily VWAP. Then maybe we could see poised for some further profit taking to some deeper levels. So at this point in time, we talked about the price, and then that would be potentially like our daily VWAP. So maybe price rallies up, and we could look to get some profit taking, get some consolidation at the daily VWAP area near this 572, and then maybe that could fuel us into new all-time highs continuation. So it's ideally something like that I'm looking for. And if we start to break beneath this 570, again, this has been our key line in the sand as well for the week, is this Thursday's VWAP. You could see that on Monday, we consolidated near it and just slowly started to climb the ladder above it. And now we pushed off and launched. So that's a potential scenario for the SPY. Looking for the pullback into this 571, 570, rally back up into 573, 572 area, get some consolidation at this 572, 573 for a push into 577. Monitor for the decline, 5-day moving average, 570 for the decline, and maybe we start to get trapped if that 5-day moving average does start to curl. Because if we get a quick shakeout and start to hold, that 5-day moving average will start to rise flatten for today. Because here's Thursday's data, and then Friday we start to drop off. So if we get a failed move, rally up, fast move, start to get trapped, this is all this week's data now. So if we do start to break under, this 5-day moving average could start to look like this, and just will cause some caution and give us confirmation that we could potentially see this further downside levels that we talked about. QQQ, it's going to be a very similar situation. Okay, talked about the same thing. Pull back into this 2-day VWAP, right? We was rejecting the VWAP, waiting for MU's earnings, and now we got the launch pad. So we are actually filling this gap that we've been talking about in the previous videos. We're in this gap, complete gap fill, 493 to 496. So maybe this is the magnet that price wants to get up into, maybe make an all new time high, then start getting profit taking. Or it's not a prediction. Maybe we just fill the gap and get profit taking. So what we want to look for, same thing. I'm going to slap an anchor right up in here. So it's this 490 level here. And so we'll pull back into this 490 level. If that doesn't hold, watch for continuation down into this 487. Again, 2-day VWAP, 3-day VWAP. This area is 487. Look for some support. Maybe get some profit taking down into that 2-day VWAP, and then we could get that continuation to the upside. And then 2-day VWAP, multi-day reversal, and then the daily VWAP looks something like this. We could look for some type of multi-day reversal. So the daily VWAP, here's our purple right here. So we could potentially look, maybe it rallies up and holds here and just starts to continue. Maybe we get some profit taking to this 2-day VWAP, week to date VWAP, and Thursday's VWAP a little bit deeper. And you can see this has been a previous level of resistance that could now potentially act as support. So maybe this could be our bounce trade into this 491 and look to get some consolidation and push into. If we do start to get trapped underneath this, not trapped, but if we do start to break underneath this 483, like Thursday's VWAP, 5-day moving average, key area, coincided by this 482 VP, we just want to monitor that for this 5-day moving average to start curling. And if we start to see price starting to get stuck underneath that, that could be poised to the CR further downside. Not prediction, potential scenario. So if we start to trade under 482 and start to make lower lows and lower highs, and confirmation of breaking 480, poised for further downside for a VP gap fill into 475, 472, month to date VWAP, 469 level. Our 50-day moving average on the Qs is going to start to flatten out. We're going to start to add this data right here. Thursday the 18th right here, we could see. So we're gonna add this data. So this 50-day moving average is going to actually starting to flatten out now. So we're starting to get trend alignment on the daily time frame with a rising 20, rising 50, and Big Papa rising 200. Have a good day, everyone.